Hello and good day everyone. In today's video, I will try and answer the most asked question on the internet, which is, can Batman defeat Kratos? Just kidding, for some strange reason, no one really asked this important question. In fact, all I could find on YouTube was an 8-year-old video that quite honestly, I didn't want to watch. But I think why no one is asking the question, because I feel like we all in some way know the answer, so please, sit back, relax and enjoy the video, as I go over the many points, that will provide us with the definitive answer to the question, can Batman defeat Kratos?
The streets will run red with the blood of billions. Only then, after your last pitiful hope is extinguished, will I end your life. Let's go.
Before we start, I would like to say, this is a new type of video for me to make, so if you guys like it, I might do more videos like this in the future.
Your new lord and master. You may call me Darkseid. You talk
Okay, we have talked enough, let's get going. How many of you guys know this guy?
Will suffer slowly. I grant you a quick death.
Yes, that is correct. This guy is the original Thanos. This is Darkseid, known in the DC universe as the Conqueror, the ruler of the new gods, and he is one of the most powerful comic book characters to ever have been created.
Many things came out. You couldn't begin to imagine half of them. But for now, I shall take the role of executioner.
So why are talking about Darkseid? Well, because we need a high power level metric to measure both characters in an equal and an entertaining way.
Only then will I allow you death's sweet relief.
Theoretically, if Kratos were to appear in front of Darkseid with the intention of fighting him, it would take Darkseid less than a second to erase Kratos from all of existence.
And you murdered.
Had I known one human's death would pain you so, I would have killed more. And kill more I shall. Carry that agony with you to oblivion, Superman.
You see, I'm not saying that Kratos isn't an absolute powerhouse. I mean, the guy can easily defeat Kronos, who is the strongest among the Titans. But he's not quite planet level of strength. He has his limits, as you can see. But one thing we know Kratos will do for sure is fight till the very end. I'm not saying till he dies, but even beyond his death, we have seen Kratos reject defeat even beyond the grave. But when his opponent is an almighty, planet-destroying monster, it's a completely different story, and a power level that Kratos has never encountered. But what about his opponent? Can the big, bad bat go toe-to-toe with the Conqueror? Well, that's way easier to find out, because these two have crossed paths many times before. After watching the upcoming video, I think we all can answer the big question of the video.
I'm not talking about them. Your armory, the Hellspores, they've been activated.
Impossible. The arming code is encrypted.
I broke the code and reprogrammed them.
You're bluffing.
Omega Lambda 7 XL9. That sounds like a bluff to you? One Hellspore can turn an entire planet into a fire pit. What'll happen to Apocalypse when 500 go off simultaneously?
You dare? You dare? I could destroy you with a single blast of my Omega beams.
You could, but that wouldn't stop the Hellspores, would it?
You will disarm them.
Here's the deal. Release the girl, and give your word you'll leave her alone.
Forswear, Kara Zor-El. Say it.
Well played.
So as you can see, Batman didn't just beat Darkseid, but he forced him into submission, in his own planet.
They would have lost. They do not have
That's
the
impressive,
strength of
don't you
character
agree?
To destroy an entire planet to achieve success. You, a human, you kill your own kind to win battles. An admirable quality. Take the girl. I will.
Now let's ask the question again, can Batman defeat Kratos? And the answer is, yes, absolutely, without any question or hesitation. We are talking about a man who repeatedly defeated a god, over and over again.
You say you answer to some sort of authority. They only want me dead because I'm an embarrassment. Because I do what they can't. What kind of authority is that? It wasn't easy to make, Clark. It took years and cost a fortune. Luckily, I had both. You're feeling it now, aren't you? What the rest of us live with every day. Your own mortality. But I didn't have to go easy on you. A different binding agent, a stronger mix. I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
The man with the plan to take down the entire Justice League, one by one.
The attacks were strategically brilliant.
More than that, they were specifically targeted at our physical and psychological weaknesses.
Obviously by someone who knows us very well.
The plans were mine.
Yours.
A man with the willpower to never give up, whether he is backed into a wall, with no option but to surrender, or buried alive under 6 feet of dirt, he will never give up.
You can just walk away.
But we are not finished just yet, because although we have answered a question, it was a question we all in some way knew the answer to, and now it's time to ask the actual question. Can the Ghost of Sparta defeat the Dark Knight? Let's start by looking at what makes these two who they are, beginning with their origins. Often in media, tragedy leads to a dark path, and for these two, tragedy is what made them, but tragedy didn't keep them down. Even though their goals were fundamentally different, the ways in which they achieved them are similar, using their rage and anger, striking fear in the hearts of their enemies, and making a name for themselves, ignoring any authority, or a higher plan for them. While not physically the strongest in their universe, both are among the smartest and most clever, and resourceful. We have gone over Batman's impressive mind, and his ahead-of-time planning in action, but what about the Ghost of Sparta? Despite the common thought that Kratos' greatest power is his overwhelming brute strength, but it's absolutely not. Kratos is incredibly smart, and incredibly clever in the heat of battle. For example, look at how long it took him to come up with a strategy to take this giant dragon down. And there are many similar feats of quick and genius thinking, done within the span of seconds.
She saw a beast, a
as well as a man. Once a captain,
And you
of
can
the
see it in him even at a
Spartan
younger
army,
age.
Kratos had begun his command with only 50 soldiers, but soon his numbers grew to
That's what made him the general of the Spartan army.
His tactics were brutal, but effective. Drunk with power, he was feared by all.
And on this day,
That's what made him the man, the legend.
Kratos, will have his revenge.
But can he beat the big, bad, bat?
Possibly.
Yes, you heard me correctly. I said, possibly. You see, it's not as a clear of an answer like the previous one. There are many factors that has to be accounted for. The first one is, if Batman knows or is prepared to fight Kratos, then that fight is over before it's even begun. Batman is undefeated when and if he has a plan, and Batman does have a plan for everything and everyone, almost at all times.
Password Delta Charlie -27-5-1939. Enable new protocol. Title Agamemno Contingency. Should any of the core members of the League turn rogue, we need to have plans in place to handle each and every one of us, should we become a threat. The members of the League are my teammates, but we need to be prepared for the worst. Always. Agamemno Contingency, file codename Last Son. If Superman ever becomes a threat to the planet, the following protocols will need to be enacted to ensure our survival. The sample of green kryptonite in Vault 7B, provided by Superman himself, will incapacitate him with brief exposure, and prolonged exposure would, in all probability, be fatal. Portions of this kryptonite, under exposure to radiation, created a variation of kryptonite that is red in color. Side effects of this type of kryptonite are unknown. Further testing is required. Agamemno Contingency, file codename Red Sands. Jean Johns, the manhunter from Mars, is the heart and soul of the Justice League. However, his strength and speed make him a formidable opponent should he ever turn against us. His vulnerability to fire would be hard to exploit in a defensive position. However, research suggests that a nanite virus spiked with magnesium would cause his skin to combust in contact with the air, neutralizing him as a threat. Must investigate further. Agamemno Contingency, file codename 2814. The ring of a Green Lantern is the most powerful weapon in the universe, limited only by the imagination of the bearer. The ring cannot be separated from the wielder except in the event of their death, and the ring's natural defenses prevent direct attack. But in order to use the ring, the core member needs to be able to see what they are doing. While an attack on the eyes would be ill-advised due to the defenses of the ring, see Table 38B for full offensive lists and their attendant probabilities of success. Research indicates that a post-hypnotic suggestion could be planted into the Green Lantern's psyche, causing them to believe themselves blind. The ring would then make them blind, enforced by their own willpower. Must test out this theory on Guy Gardner.
Emergency room.
45 miles an hour should be adequate. Remember to tuck and roll.
Pretty screwed up you guys have a plan for this.
Almost, including people who are hard to kill, like Kratos, but that should not be the only factor. Sometimes, Batman is backed into a wall that is difficult for him to adjust and adopt on the fly, but those moments are few and far between, and they are often planet-destroying or world-ending situations, but that is what Kratos is. Kratos is the destroyer of worlds, and just like the video that you are seeing, where the entire Justice League, including Batman, is going against Doomsday. In a way, Doomsday regenerative healing powers works a lot similarly to Kratos, and just like we established before, Kratos isn't just a mindless killing machine, he's way more tactical and efficient, unlike Doomsday. But that by itself isn't enough, because even when Batman is faced by a more physically capable opponent, in a one-to-one situation, he does not give up, and he doesn't just punch harder.
Okay, son. Show me.
True,
But we're all slow when we're thigh-deep in mud.
We fight with a strategy and a goal in mind.
What was that?
Just the right kind of cut above the eyes. The kind that bleeds.
That a tickle?
That was a nerve bundle in your deltoid. Might not have hurt, but you won't be moving that arm for a while.
You finished, old man.
You don't get it, son. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table. And I'm the surgeon.
Again, just like I said before, these two legends are way more similar than we all think. Now let's ask the question again, can Kratos defeat Batman? And the answer remains the same, possibly, but one thing we know for sure, if these two ever crossed paths, it will be a fight for the ages. In conclusion, making this video was a blast to make, because it helps shedding more light of why we love these two fictional characters, and it's because they are among the most relatable characters in all of fiction. Yes, I know one of them is a billionaire, and the other is an all-powerful god. That's not what I mean. Both of them are flawed in their own way, and they do own the fact that their actions oftentimes are selfish and unjustified,
For that,
just like the rest of us.
It's too hard to cross that line?
No! God almighty, no! It'd be too damned easy. All I've ever wanted to do is kill him. A day doesn't go by when I don't think about subjecting him to every horrendous torture he's dealt out to others, and then end him.
Pretend to be everything you are not. Teacher, husband, father. But there is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You cannot change. You will always be a monster.
I know.
Yet that doesn't stop them from trying. Trying to do better, trying to be better, whether it's for their sake or for the sake of others. They will fail time and time again, but that won't be the end of them. They will always use that memory of past failures as a fuel that motivate them and push them further than the rest of us.
In light of all the recent events, would you like me to remove that?
No. This doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything at all.
For them both, it's never the end, it's just a new beginning. We have arrived at the end of our journey, and what a journey it was. If you enjoyed this type of videos, show some love, hit that like button. And if you want to see more, subscribe, and I will definitely do more and better video of this kind. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon.